Welcome to the first meeting of the Standards Committee in the new municipal year. The first item of business is election of chair. Is there a nomination?
I would like to nominate Beth Rowland as chair, please.
And is there a seconder for that?
I would like to second that, Beth Rowland.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? In that case, congratulations, Councillor Rowland, you're in the chair.
I'd like to ask for the nominations for appointment as vice chair, and from the chair I'd like to nominate Caroline Smith.
It's the usual seconder then.
I will second that, please.
Are there any apologies for us?
Councillor Rebecca Margetts.
Thank you. Minutes of the previous meeting on page 5. Page 5. 6. And 7. Sally.
Forget these things. Item 36, I did ask that the annual report, once it had been approved by full council, be shared with the parish and town councils, because I think there was, I can't remember what it was offhand, that was something I thought was particularly useful. See, that isn't included in the minutes, but I have spoken with the officers and believe it's going to be action still.
Okay, fine. That's lovely. Thank you. Any declarations of interest? Any questions from members of the public? Have we had any questions in?
None received, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions from members?
None received.
Any questions from the town and parishes?
None received.
Councillors' training session. Over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Chair. I wasn't intending to go through and do a formal presentation of the slides that are in your pack this evening. It's really just a very high-level introduction, and I'm sure for many of you on the committee who's previously been on the committee, just a reminder of why you're here, the terms of reference of the committee, composition of the committee. So, yeah, that's really all I wanted to say, Chair, but very happy to sort of take any questions, and perhaps also, Chair, it's an opportunity to think about the year ahead, particularly when you look at the terms of reference of the committee and sort of any particular areas that you'd like officers to bring back during the course of this municipal year.
Thank you. Sally.
Can I ask a question? I've asked in the past more than once. Are we still on one independent person at the moment?
That's
Can
correct.
you pull the mic towards you a bit?
If that's any better. Are we on, so I was just asking if we're still down to the one independent person.
Yeah, through you, Chair, that is correct. We've just got one independent person at present, so we will be looking to recruit at least one further independent person, and I'll take the points that have been previously made about how we make that inclusive and open to all parts of the community.
Thank you very much. If you could also just give us advance or enough notice when you're publicising it so we can help share that in and do some perhaps positive promotion to try and increase that diversity, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And the final item on the agenda is an update on Councillor Code of Conduct on page 19.
Thank you, Chair. Would you like me just to say a few
Yes,
words
please.
about
Yeah.
this report? So this is a standard report for the committee to give you an overview of the Code of Conduct complaints that have been received. What I would say, and I would really welcome feedback from the committee in terms of how this report can be improved. But the intention behind it is to enable you to spot trends, patterns in terms of the types of complaints that are received, and also as well to hold myself and officers to account in terms of how we deal with complaints in a timely fashion. What I would say, and this is by no means of an excuse, but for obvious reasons, I've been a little bit preoccupied over the last 2 or 3 months with local elections and then the general election. So you'll see when you look at the detail of the report on pages 22 and 23, and particularly on pages 23, that we're a little bit behind in terms of dealing with some of those complaints. But I just wanted to give you that assurance now that we're very much back on it, and we will be clearing those, certainly those historic complaints on page 23 very shortly. I would say as well on page 22, you'll see that the first complaint we received in the year was about a town and parish council. That should be resolved or come to a conclusion within the next week or so. So you will see a lot of, I would hope, positive progress in terms of getting closer to meeting the performance standards that we've got now. I did, just through you, Chair, I just wanted to introduce to those of you who don't know, Neil Allen, sitting on my right here. Neil is the head of legal services, and Neil is involved directly, particularly in the 2 on page 23, in terms of reaching conclusions on those investigations. And I don't know, Neil, whether you just wanted to add to what I've said.
Thanks, Andrew. And just to add to those two, we've mentioned the need to look at trends, and in fact they're quite unusual because on one of them I'm the investigating officer, on the other deputy monitoring officer Jenny Lee, who's also a lawyer, is the other investigating officer, and they're different committees, different councillor, but very similar issue. And there's some legal complexities there, which is particularly why Jenny and I are involved. So, and as Andrew mentioned, so unfortunately we are behind, but that's partly in the last few weeks. Obviously, we've been assisting Andrew with the election. Both Jenny and I were involved on general election day in different roles, but we will be cracking on from here. We're in a position to move ahead.
Thank you. Nothing else? Yeah.
Thank you. On page 22, the first 2 ones, did you say there were 2 different committees or the same one?
They're both relating to the same event at the same committee. One was received from a councillor, one was received from a member of the public. So they're shown as 2 separate complaints, but relating to the same.
Going forward, would it be possible to say that they are related to the same?
I did try to bring that out to the summary of complaint where it says WBC2 and WBC1 do relate to the same meeting. But yeah, I'll think about how we can make that clearer.
Thank you.
Sam?
Chair, I wanted to say from my side, it's really great to see that feedback. I think I mentioned previously in previous meetings that it would be mentioned. So I think it is a lot easier now where you've mentioned in page 22, WBC2 and 1 relate to the same meeting. Within the same relation to that, we're looking at WC 18 and 17. Are they both of those the same incident as well? It'd be great just across the board if we had where maybe you've got a column where it says ref next to the complaint, is you could just list in a way where all the councillors on this committee could see which ones did. So, for example, you could clearly then see across these, actually, all of these are relating to 3 incidents, or which ones are related to the same one.
Chair, if I just answer the councillor's question. On 17 and 18, actually, they're different incidents, but the legal issues are very, very similar. And that's why we're coordinating the investigation for the time being.
Thank you. Sally?
Can I just ask whether we had any or many unresolved complaints that were stopped due to people no longer being members of councils during the elections?
No, all the complaints from 23, 24 have been dealt with, apart from the 2 that you see on page 23.
Brilliant, thank you.
Anyone else for any more? No? Thank you. I think this is probably going to be the quickest meeting on record. Any questions from the parish and towns? Comment, Neil, through you. Sorry, Neil 1 and Neil 2.
Nothing to what's already been spoken about.
Lovely, thank you. That's it then. Thank you very much. Over and out. Yeah.